Okay. Some of you guys will use Photoshop maybe. It's expensive. It's a powerful piece of software. I think if you just buy it commercially, it's $500. So it doesn't make sense for us to teach something that the hospitals and health departments probably aren't going to have, clinics. So we found this online, and it does really what we want it to do, and it's free. As you make all of this stuff for your handout, your PowerPoint, everything, you're going to have to be able to edit images. Excuse me. Now there's a Microsoft Paint and different things, but this works really easy. You do have to be online for it, and there's a instruction sheet that you can just walk through, and most people just walk through that, and it's real simple. We don't ask you to do a lot with it, but I do want to show it to you. And we're at Photoshop.com tools, and go over here to start the editor, and then select a photo to edit. Okay, and just go down to upload photo, and yeah, it's a JPEG. Okay, we'll talk more about that later. And just hit upload, and you should have these sample pictures come up, or when you get there.
Doesn't like me come up.
Do what?
Doesn't like me either.
What'd you hit? What are you clicking on? I tell you what, just watch mine up front, and we'll see what happens on this. But I'm going to pick the kitten because according to YouTube, the whole world goes nuts over kittens. So there's that. Now you probably have played with this stuff before. One of the main things we want to do is crop images. You don't want to put an image on anything you're creating, designing, and that you don't need all of it. So this one's really easy to use. I can just basically resize this, and of course cropping, I'm taking part of that out. Okay? So, and I can do this different ways. I can come up to a size I want to make it. Resizing is another one. Now, actual physical size in photographs does have bearing on the file size. If you're taking an 11 by 17 photograph and putting it in a 2 by 2 or a 2 by 4 area, you're taking a very large file and making the browser or what the computer do the math to make it resize it. So take the raw image, make it the size you want it to be on your website or whatever, and then use the correct size. Any photographs you have, you always have a folder for your photographs that's called raw images. Don't mess with those. Leave that thing at 11 by 17. Make a copy of it, shrink it for your website or your photo. Autocorrect, we can try to fix the image. What I'm going to ask you to do on your own is to go through each one of these and just play with it. Some of the ones that may be a little, they're not intuitive. Dodge. You can lighten it. If you want to lighten the cat's eyes, you can take that and lighten that area. Burn, like you would think, you could darken it. But it's kind of it really is sort of an art thing to play with it. But the main thing we want you to be able to do is crop and resize. Those are the main tools for this course and anything else. You need to be able to take big images, make them small, take parts out. I don't think this has a really good background tool, or the last version didn't, but we'll play with it. Like you don't want to take an image like this with this white background on it and stick it on a blue background. If you had to have an image with a big white background on it, on something, don't use the image. Okay? That's why those neutral backgrounds are better. You don't want to have a picture with a big background on it. It looks like you just took it and stuck it on there. And PowerPoint is pretty easy to make the background transparent. You probably can do it in here. I just don't know how to do it. I can do it in Photoshop, but I'm not sure I can do it here. But you guys can play with that a little bit. But on the exercise, you take an image, you resize it, you crop it, and you save it each time you do that, and you submit it in the Dropbox. You can look at the exercise. It's kind of we started to take it out, but when we didn't do it, people said, "Yeah, we really need to be able. We need that tool," so we put it back in. So play with this. It's anywhere you go. It's online, so it's hard to beat the price. Okay. So that's all we're going to talk about